have written to you in the Zoom chat box. We are not requiring you to write your names in the Zoom chat box. We are asking you to change your names in the participant lists instead of Abir's iPhone or Samsung's or these names. You can change it like this. You can hover over your name with your mouse. You will find the menu called More. In More, you can rename yourself. So we are not asking you to write your names again in the Zoom chat box. No, we are asking you, each one of you, please, if you please, to hover over your name in the participant lists inside the Zoom for sure. You will find a button called More. In More, you will find the list in which we can find rename. Then, after clicking on rename, you can just renaming yourself instead of iPhone, Samsung, Galaxy, and these nicknames. Please write your formal name. This session for question of Marar is for English speakers. So all of the language will be used, it will be English. And I think you are fully aware about this. This free overview of real analysis for today and tomorrow will be for English speakers. So I will be speaking English all over the course. Thank you very much.
Hi, everyone. You are welcome to Pymerstan Training Center, and you are welcome to our training program for data analysis for English speakers and Arab can attend. Six Sigma overview will be to Arab. Our instructor, our potential great Dr. Ahmed Medhad Abu Ghida. He is master black belt. He is master in statistics, instructor in EUC. He will introduce to you. Thanks, Dr. Ahmed. I will let you to talk. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Dr. Zena, for your great introduction. First of all, I will introduce myself. My name is Ahmed Medhat Abu Ghida. I hold a Master of Science in Statistics, Mathematics, and Operations Research. What does operations research means? Operations research is science concerned with application of mathematics and statistics in real-world problems, like problems you could face in quality, in supply chain, in marketing, in business, and so on. My Master of Science have been gained from UK. I have been working in the analysis industry for more than 10 years till now. Right now, I'm working as a data scientist in Proud Food Consulting. It's an American multinational organization. In parallel with this, I'm working as a lead instructor in General Assembly. For sure, General Assembly is a multinational training providing for data analysis, marketing, and data science courses. Previously, I worked as a consultant for FOSO Consulting. It's a French multinational organization as well. Previously, I worked for Devachi Consulting. It's a Dutch multinational consulting organization as well. So this is my experience in consulting industry. Regarding the training industry, I have been teaching with the American University in Cairo for more than 3 years. I'm teaching data analysis, statistics, operations research, operations management, supply chain, change management, and so on. Total quality management, Lean and Six Sigma for sure. And right now I'm a program advisor for the AUC. I'm happy with all of you on board, and hopefully we will add some value to your armada of data analysis as you are interested to join our course in data analysis. I'm keep receiving messages like, please speak Arabic, please speak Arabic. We were very clear on this in our advertisement. This free overview of data analysis for today and tomorrow is for English speakers, only English speakers. I will not speak Arabic today and tomorrow. But our next free course, which will start on Friday, inshallah, Friday and Monday and Tuesday for the next week, it will be for Arabic speakers. So again and again, because I have received a lot of messages concerning this point, I will not be speaking Arabic today. I will just be speaking English because this is for English speakers. Yes, there's no screen yet, May, because I didn't share my screen yet. We are just introducing ourselves to you, and you will introduce yourselves quickly to me. So I didn't share any presentation yet. So you are safe. You are in the safe side. I still can see a lot of nicknames like 1234, iPhone, and so on. So please, for the third time, if you hover over your name in the participant list using your mouse, you will find Ask to Mute and More. Please, you can click on More. If you click on More, you will get a menu, drop-down menu, in which we can find Rename. Please click on Rename and write your original name or your formal name, not a nickname, please. Because till now, I can see a lot of nicknames, although we have directed you to change your names. I didn't share my presentation yet. Could you please be patient? If you bear with me, I will be sharing the presentation. Again, guys, I'm not expecting you to write your name in the Zoom chat box. In the Zoom, you have the participant button. If you look at your Zoom software without anything, you can see that is something called participants. If you click on participants, you will get a list of participants. And for sure, your name will appear in this participants list. If you hover over your name in the participants list, you'll find a button called More. Inside it, you can find Rename button. Just click on Rename and please write your formal name, not a nickname. Because till now, I keep receiving names in the Zoom chat box. We are not asking you to
not present in participant list. I'm not present in participant list, and I don't know how.
First of all, please, you are not allowed to start talking in the mic unless you ask me first. Otherwise, it will be a mess. We have 75 participants. So if you need to speak on the mic, please, you have to let me know. Can write in the Zoom chat box before just using the mic. And it's impossible that your name is not in the participant list, but you are here with us in the meeting. This is completely controversial. Your name must be in the list, but the name you have written when you log in into the Zoom, this is the appearance name for you right now. Galaxy A20s, iPhone, and so on. So to make the things disciplined, please, if any one of you needs to open the mic or speak to me, please, you have to ask me first in the Zoom chat box, not just open the mic and speak without permission. Otherwise, this will be a mess. We have 75 participants. If only 2 or 3 of you thought the same thoughts, I will not understand anything. So please stick to this. Registration form, I don't think so, but our admin will be replying for you. I don't have an idea about this registration form, but if any, I think our admins will reach to you. You are welcome. Yes, and you will get a record and certification for free contact and the WhatsApp number. Okay. I will not waste more time on this. Still, I can see a lot of nicknames, although I have illustrated in details how can we change our names, but I must start. Now you can see, or you must see, or you should see my presentation, which says data analysis overview. You need to speak, please. Okay, go ahead. I will be listening to you. Unmute yourself. Okay. Can you see now the participant list? Can you see now something called participant on my screen? The first name is Ahmed Mithat Abu Ghida, then Bيمارستان training, then 1, 2, 3, 4, then blah, blah, blah. Can you see something like this? Yes, yes, yes. Very good. Now we have a nickname called 1, 2, 3, 4, which is for us something not appropriate. How can I change my name if my name really is 1, 2, 3, 4? When I hover over my name, I will assume that right now I'm called 1, 2, 3, 4. I will find more. Then I will click on more. I have a menu. On this menu, I can pick rename. Please, I'm not understanding what is the objective of someone is annotating the presentation with a blue color and trying to make some lines. This is completely unethical. What is the objective of this? Again, 1, 2, 3, 4, more, then rename. I will delete 1, 2, 3, 4, and I will write a name. For example, Mohammed. I don't know what is 1, 2, 3, 4 is. Then, okay. Now 1, 2, 3, 4 has gone. So please change your names to reflect real official names, not only nicknames, because I can see a lot of nicknames, and I will give you only 1 minute for this, and then I will stop. And please, whoever is trying to annotate my presentation, specifically here, please don't do this again. Please don't do this again, please. "30 seconds left for each one of you to change her or his name to reflect a real name. Otherwise, simply you will not get a certificate. So it's up to you. If you still insist to have a name which is 1, 2, 3, 4 or hash number or whatever the numbers, you are risking taking a certificate for you because we don't know what's your name. We cannot issue a certificate for one calls 1, 2, 3, 4. And I have shown you 2 minutes ago very clearly on your screens how can you change your names step by step. Just hover over your name, and I showed you how you can get the participant list. Hover over your name, click on more, and click on rename. It's very easy or very simple. Okay, I have to start. Of course, we have a lot of participants. I can't give you the opportunity to introduce yourselves, but I will assume that we have mix of service and manufacturing participants. We have people who are working in service, other people working in manufacturing industry, and so on. So I will stick to this in my examples, trying to cover all the aspects, whether in service or manufacturing, as much as I can. Infection control, okay, no problem. اسمه مش واضح صح كده. And also I have to stress that never ever to open your mic, never ever to open your video, because you are risking your privacy. So wherever someone open the video or open the mic, I will close them. So please don't do this. Don't unmute yourself and don't open your video. Healthcare quality, no problem. I will deal as if we have a lot of service and manufacturing people. But if you can do as Samia and Ahmed, if you can just write in the Zoom chat box your industry, that's okay. This will be appreciated. While I'm explaining the materials, I will have a look on it to just grasp an idea about which industries exactly we have in this session. Okay. Data analysis overview. First of all, this free course is an overview. which means I can't explain all what I will explain in the real course only in 2 days. We are just giving you an overview of, if you talk with us, the data analysis course, what topics will be studied, and what is the rhythm of the pace or of illustrating the materials, what software will be used, what elements will be used, and so on. So sometimes I will be very specific in my explanation when I find this, I must go in depth in a certain aspect, but sometimes I will just give you an idea or a very general brief about the topic or the tool that I will explain. So again, to make it very clear, we are not expecting, or you should us to teach you all the data analysis course in only 2 days. The objective of this free overview to give you just a brief about what will you find if you decided to take this course with us. This is very important. Okay, data analysis. I always like to start with the title, data analysis. What is data and what is analysis? So what is data anyway? Data is a noun by dictionary. It's a factual information organized for analysis. Factual. Factual, it means fact. There is no assumptions here. When I collect data about the waiting times in hospital or downtime manufacturing or the production rate in manufacturing or length of stay or whatever, these are facts. I'm not assuming things. Data also is numerical or other information represented in a form suitable for processing by computer. It's very important to differentiate between data human body can understand and data human body cannot understand, or data computer can understand, but data computer cannot understand. This is the second time in a row that I'm warning that these things which is happening here, someone is playing, I don't know why, this is not allowed. And I capture the title, which is not named, just the numbers. And if this happens again, I will remove you from the session because we are not here to play. So please close your annotation bar and stick to me if you are interested in the lecture. Otherwise, you can stick to the rules or you can leave the session. This is the last time I will say this warning for anyone. I don't like to see this thing in the session. Someone who is just playing with the annotation. No, I will clear it for the last time. And if this happens again, I will remove you from the session. And you will not get recording, by the way. So back to our presentation. When I have some data, which I can understand, it does not mean by necessary that a computer can understand. So the software we will be relying much upon in our course will be Minitab, and I will show it to you, inshallah, today or and tomorrow in some topics or in some situations. So Minitab is statistical software. It's one of the top 10 statistical software, plus SPSS, Stata, Mathematica, Click, and so on. So when you collect data, you have to make it clear for the computer or for the statistical software you are working with. So many times, you as a human body, you can understand some records from your company, for example. But if you just drop the data in its original format into the Minitab, the computer cannot understand what you are doing. So we have to collect the data in a format that could be understood well by our software, which is, in this case, Minitab. Also, data could be obtained from scientific experiments, and I will speak about what is scientific experiments or design of experiments, inshallah, tomorrow. So this is for data. What about analysis? Analysis is a process of making some mathematical and statistical equations or manipulation in your data in order to get insights, in order to get relationships between variables, in order to make some prediction, in order to make some forecasting and time series analysis, in order to solve problems like in quality, for example, and supply chain. So actually analysis is a very, very broad term which simply incorporate how mathematics and statistics can help you to get insights from your data. This is a very popular question, which many times I get, whether in free courses or free overviews or in the main or official course, which how can I collect the data? So what do you think? I can see that a lot of you are working in quality, especially in healthcare. Till now, I can see that not everyone has introduced him or herself, but till now, I'm keep receiving messages about quality. It's okay. So what do you think? You can write your thoughts in the Zoom chat box. How can you collect the data? For sure, there is a lot of times, whatever your career, whatever your industry, whatever your country, in which you were required to collect some data. So how each one of you is collecting the data? Questionnaire, direct observation, questionnaire, observing, surveys. Excellent. I will give you extra 1 minute for this. So everyone, feel free to think and write what's your data collection tools. Survey, interviews, or for hospital records. Excellent. Surveys. Interviews, direct observations. Okay. Focus groups. Excellent. Questionnaire. Audit. Excellent. Very good. Tables. Or tables on SQL Server, for example. Yes. Number of complaints. Excellent. Excellent. Great observation. Complaints. Audit, survey, direct observation, records. Excellent. Thank you very much. Your answers exceeded my expectations. Feedback. Also, I will add the suggestion boxes. In many industries, we have something called suggestion box. So we can also understand our business or collect some data using the suggestion box. But overall, your responses have exceeded my expectations. Thank you very much. Reports and incidents. Yes, incidents are great source of data. So again and again, you have approximately exceeded my expectations. All of you have written as source of data. So we can collect the data in a variety of ways. I will not repeat what you have written, but interviews, questionnaires, audits, complaints, suggestion boxes, focus groups, observations, data importing from SQL Server. If you have SQL Server, for example, well, sometimes some people just call it system. I have a system in my hostel. I have a system in my. So the word system may incorporate a lot of scenarios. Maybe an ERP, enterprise resource planning, just like SAP or Oracle. It may be an SQL Server. Maybe I have just some Excel sheets on my computers in my company. I'm driving data from them. So all of these are sources of data. So great. You are now on the line or on the bar regarding source of data. How can you collect the data? What is focus group? Focus group, it means you collect a lot of people. For example, a group of patients, if you are working in in hospital, or a group of retailers, for example, if you are working in manufacturing, and you have an open discussion with them. You are asking them what are the problems you are facing with us, what's your recommendation, and blah, 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 blah. This is called the focus group. This is for our what if questions. Administrative data and the chart review also. Okay, yes, dashboards as well. If you have some sort of dashboards like Heba mentioned, dashboards are great sources of data, and dashboards usually is built over another source of data, Excel sheets, SQL Server, and so on. Where is the slides? The slide is being presented and you should see it on your screen. If you cannot see it, you can log out and log in again. Slides will be shared with you tomorrow after the end of the course, inshallah. But if you cannot see my shared presentation while the others can see it, it means you have a problem which simply could be resolved by logging out and logging in. This is a very popular bug in Zoom. You can just log out and log in and you can see it. You are welcome, no problem. If anyone face a problem in seeing my slides, because I'm sharing my slides for more than 15 minutes right now, just log out and log in and things will be fine. Okay, sometimes Salwa, there will be a lag or delay according to the speed of internet. So sometimes you can see it a lot lately because the speed of internet, but the most important thing that you can see it right now, which is good. Thank you very much. Nawar is saying what MRM? Everyone will start to speak about his or her sources and his organizations, which may take a lot of abbreviations and something you are not required to worry about, because same thing may have different names across organizations and different abbreviations as well, but the main idea is still the same. We can summarize them, as I said about 5 minutes ago: surveys, questionnaires, observation, focus groups, audit, complaints, suggestion books, and so on. So this is good. We are all now understand from where I can get my data. So what you have said and what I have summarized, we call it ways of collecting data. It is a way of collecting data. I can collect it via questionnaire.
كويس الحمد لله. ما في التهاب ربيع يعني. قصب الهوائية بس.
Please make sure that your mics are turned off, please. Management review meeting. Okay, thank you. May Ali, please, keep turning off your mic and you keep turning it on, so please make sure that it's turned off. Okay. Again, surveys, questionnaires, blah, 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 what you have said is called ways of collecting data. It's a way of collecting the data. But in order to make this collection documented, we use something called data collection plan. So whatever the source of your data, survey, questionnaire, audit, whatever, in data analysis, we are very organized people. So we need to keep everything documented. That's why we have a tool called data collection plan. Where is the registration link? I can't understand what do you mean by registration link. We have only a link for Zoom, which you are only on it right now. Zoom slides, please. Zoom slides are already shared. If you can't see it, just log out and log in. So I don't understand what you mean by Zoom slides. Zoom slides or the presentation will be shared with you, as I said minutes ago, tomorrow, inshallah, after the end of the course. I will not send it today or right now. So if you cannot see it in Zoom, log out and log in again. If you can see it, it will be handed over to you tomorrow, inshallah. Data collection plan, without going into details, as I have hinted in the beginning of the lecture, is a tool. We use it in data analysis to make everything documented. So quickly, first, the measure. What you are measuring. For example, I'm measuring the waiting time, or I'm measuring the length of stay, or I'm measuring the lead time in supply chain, or I'm measuring the downtime in a certain manufacturing plant, or I'm measuring the production rate, whatever. So what you are measuring, the name of parameter or the name of your KPI, we can call it. And I think all of you understand on this level what is KPI or what KPI is, key performance indicator. So what exactly you are measuring? Okay. Then the type of measure, something we will go through it within minutes, which means type of data, because in statistics we have a lot of types of data and you have to understand it well. So you can exclude this for the now being. Then operational definition. Operational definition means, what does it mean? For example, when I say KPI is waiting time in the outpatient, some people in certain hostels will say that the waiting time is the time between registration until the patient will see the doctor or the physician. But other hostels will define it that it is the time between the patient entering the waiting area until he can see his physician or her physician. So there is, KPIs are not just bits. It is not Quran. So you may have the same KPI, waiting time and waiting time, downtime and downtime, blah, 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 blah. But in certain organizations or in different organizations, it has a different meaning. So make sure when you are collecting data, you are defining your KPI. I mean here that the waiting time is the time between the patient entering the waiting area till he can see the physician. This is called an operational definition. Because if you did not include this, many people will explain it or understand it in different ways. Then we have another column, which is measurement or the test method. How can you measure this? Can you measure it visually or via records or Excel sheet or SQL servers or blah, 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 blah? How can you measure it? Using stopwatch, for example, or it's stored in your computers. How can you know, for example, lead time in supply chain or waiting time in hospital and so on? Also, we have something called data tag here. The data tag means التمييز in Arabic. Data tags, it means you are talking about time, waiting time or lead time. Okay, this time will be measured in hours or minutes or seconds. This is called data tag. So we are not just suffused with the term time. Okay, time could be days, weeks, months, years, minutes, hours, seconds. So which data tag you are implementing. Then the data collection method, something we have gone through it before, manual or spreadsheet or computer or blah, blah, blah. And another routine data, which is who will do it? Who measured the waiting time? Ahmed. Who measured the production rate in our manufacturing plant? Mahmoud. Who measured the turnaround time in the lab? Yasmin or Noha, and so on. So as you can see, we are detailing our documentation as much as we can. Then the last part, which is called sampling plan. From where you get your data, from the lab, from the maintenance department, from the medical record department, from the lab department, when, how often the data is collected, whether it's collected on daily basis or on shift basis or on weekly basis or monthly basis, something you have to specify. And how many, it means simply the sample size, how many observations you have collected in your sample. 500 observations, 100 observations, 200 observations, and so on. All of this information will constitute something called, as you can see, data collection plan. And this is very important in data analysis. To make things clearer, to make things documented, because many times you will have to revert back to this. For example, when you have a problem in the accuracy of the data of the waiting time. So I will go to data collection plan to remember who was in charge measuring data collection plan. Ahmed. Oh, so Ahmed, why your data is inaccurate? Do you need training? Do you need to understand anything well? So if you need to make any improvement in your data collection process, you will visit again and again your data collection plan a lot of times. Okay, now statistics will hit us. If you remember here, types of measure or type of data. Here I said that we will be discussing this in minutes. Waiting time. which type of data is. Lead time in supply chain, what type of data. The number of incidents in safety, what's type of data here, and so on. So right now we'll be discussing our types of data from pure statistical perspective, not only from general perspective or in other courses perspective. No, I'm talking now about pure statistics. So in statistics, we have a major two types of data, as you can see. Attribute data, sometimes called the qualitative data, and variable data, sometimes called the quantitative data. So we have only a major two types of data again. Attribute data, sometimes called qualitative, then variable data, sometimes called quantitative. And the difference could be touched from the first slide, as you can see. One is qualitative and the other is quantitative. So attribute data has a lot of formats. I will not say subtypes. I will say a lot of formats. So the most famous and most widespread format of the attribute data is the binary data. And the word binary in English, it means something has only two outputs, yes or no, pass or fail, accepted or rejected, medical record completed or not completed, the quality control inspection sheet is correct or incorrect, and so on. So the most widespread form of the attribute data is called binary data, in which we have only two possible values. Sometimes we encode it in statistics as 0 and 1, like male and female as well. And you have a lot of examples on this in your industry, in your business, like accepted, rejected, pass, fail, completed, not completed, and so on. Also, we have a second format for the attribute data, which is called the categorical data. Or the categorical format. Categorical, it means here, instead of have only two categories, binary data, 0, 1, only two outputs, or two possible outputs, you have more than two. For example, I can see that a lot of you are working in the quality industry, which is good. In quality and in education, for example, when we are trying to measure the satisfaction of the patient, yes, excellent, Abdul Hamid, satisfaction, or the loyalty, satisfaction of patients, satisfaction of someone who is taking course. For example, we in the IOC, for example, we measure the satisfaction in any course 2 times, in the mid-course and the end of course. We are using questions like this. Was an instructor able to give you a clear examples of blah, blah, blah? And we have 5 options. Very satisfied, satisfied, neutral, dissatisfied, and very dissatisfied. We have here 5 categories, not only 2. So this is not a binary data. I'm not asking him to give me yes or no. I may incorporate some questions. Was an instructor knowledgeable or not? Yes or no? Yes, he is knowledgeable. No, he is not knowledgeable. Thank you. But here I'm giving the patient or the student or the participant or whatever, I'm giving him 5 categories. This is called the categorical data. And in both cases, it's attribute because it's just a text. So the main difference between the major types of data is the attribute data, whether it's binary data or a categorical data, just the text, words, yes, no, go, no go, pass, fail, accepted, rejected, satisfied, dissatisfied, blah, blah, blah. These are all text. We didn't see number here. Yes, this is Likert scale, Abdul Hamid, you are completely correct. We have Likert scale based on 5 categories, 7 categories, 10 categories, and so on. So yes, this is Likert scale. So again and again, attribute data is text, whether it's categorical, have more than 2 categories like Likert scale, as Abdul Hamid is saying, or it's just a binary data, pass, fail, accepted, rejected. The main discriminated character here is, or characteristic here is, it's just a text, words. On the other hand, the variable data, which is quantitative, these are numbers. So you as a human body can easily distinguish between the two types very quickly. If you have just some text or words, this will be attribute data. It can be binary, it could be categorical, this is not a problem. But if I find some numbers, so it's a variable data or a quantitative data. But the variable data or the quantitative data will have two subcomponents or two subtypes. This is the first one, this is the second one. I may have some numbers which is discrete or count data. Discrete data which numbers could be counted, like number of defects, number of medical records, number of incidents, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so on. Number of customer returns, number of defective items, number of people, for example. Here we have right now about 92 participants. So the number of participants here is discrete data, 92. Discrete data or the count data cannot, big fat not, accept decimals. I can say, for example, that the number of participants in our free course now are 92.5. Can I say this? Is this logic? To say that your number right now are 93.7 or 92.5? No, because these are discrete data. It cannot accept decimals or digits. On the other hand, second type of the variable data or subtype called continuous data. Continuous, why it's called continuous? Because it have continuum. We call this in statistics, which means it can accept decimals. Can be measured on a continuum. It has decimal subdivisions that are meaningful. For example, I can say that my temperature right now is 36.5. 0.5 has a meaning here. I can say that, for example, the pressure right now is 120 bar, 120.2 bar. It will make some sense. And so will be time, pressure, conveyor speed, material feed rate for those who are working in manufacturing, money, pressure, conveyor speed, material feed rate, weight, length, height. All of these are continuous data. Yes, like temperature, like height. Excellent, Dua. And excellent as well, Dinishan, if I'm pronouncing it correctly. If not, please, you can correct me, or you can just excuse me if I mispronounced it. So I can say that my weight is 20.2 kilograms, or my height is 1 meter and 56 centimeters. All of this will make sense because these are continuous data. So both are numbers, discrete or continuous and numbers, and you can distinguish it very well from the first one. You pronounce very good. Okay, thank you. But numbers may be discrete, may be continuous. What about age? What do you think, Mariam? I can tell you, but I need you to think and say. You can just ask yourself a question. Could age accept decimals or not? And you will be able. Continuous, yes, excellent, excellent. You got the idea. So this is very good. So whenever I'm confused, excellent, 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 whether this is a continuous or a discrete, I will ask myself only one question. Could this parameter accept decimals? Can I say 0.2, 0.5, 0.7? If the answer is yes, it's a continuous. If the answer is no, it's discrete. And again, discrete data could be counted, 0, 1, 2, 3, up to infinity. But continuous data could be only measured. And the difference between count and measure is the use of fraction or use of decimals. Excellent. So I need to stop here and ask you if you have any questions, because this is a milestone for me. We have just spoke about the idea, what this data is, what the analysis is, then types of data. We didn't say much till now, but please, if you have any questions, let me know before I continue to the next slide. Specifically in the types of data, because as you will see in the next slides today and tomorrow, that the statistical test you will be using in data analysis sometimes assume a specific type of data. So this data will work only with discrete number. This data will work only with continuous data, and so on. So this is very important. The very basics of statistics to understand types of data, because every statistical test will assume a specific type of data. Thank you, Danishan, for your kind words. I'm happy that you are enjoying it till now. Okay, Warda, I will continue. Quantitative data may turn into qualitative data. Yes, this is something called data conversion, and we'll be discussing it in a minute, Nawar. But till now, yes, you are completely correct. I can do some sort of data conversion. Okay. It's also very important or substantial to understand the scales of data, not only the types of data. You explained to the thank you very much. Thank you very much. I will try to pronounce it. Ulai. I think you are from Nigeria. If my thoughts are correct, but you can correct me if I mispronounce any name. And please, all of you, you can just excuse me if I mispronounce any name, because working remotely is completely different from working face-to-face, but these are the consequences of the pandemic corona. And I hope that God will relieve us from this shortly, inshallah. You are welcome, Hadir. So scales of data, because please differentiate between, you are welcome, Heba and Warda. We can differentiate or must differentiate between types of data and the scales of data. The types of data, it's okay. Attribute and variable. Then variable will be discrete or continuous. Thank you. This is done. Thank you. But scales of data, it means understanding the nature of data and how to represent it can affect the types of statistical tests possible. Something I will be stressing on it a lot during the course today and tomorrow, inshallah. Microbiologist from Nigeria. Yes, my thoughts were correct. You are welcome. Thank you very much. We have the pleasure to have you on board today. Dr. Naga, you are very welcome in your second home, Egypt, and we have the pleasure to have you on board. Thank you very much, and I hope that I will meet your expectations, inshallah. So the mic is open. Iman Al-Hilali, please make sure that your mic is turned off. I have turned off for you, but next time, please make sure that your mic is turned off. So scales of data, it means understanding what is behind the numbers or what behind the data. It's okay from the first while. Now, I can say that this is attribute data and it's attribute binary. But this data attribute categorical. And this data is continuous. And this one is discrete. Okay, this is now become very easy. But the scale of data, it means go beyond this to understand deeply what is behind the data. We have four scales in statistics: nominal scale, ordinal scale, interval scale, and ratio scale. You are welcome, Huda. Nominal scale, it means that data consists of names, labels, or categories that cannot be arranged. is very important. I can underline this. Cannot be arranged in an ordering schema, and no arithmetic operations are performed for nominal data. What? Give me an example. I can't understand what you are saying. When I say, for example, male and female, gender or sex, male and female, okay. Male and female cannot be arranged. I can say that male is better than female, or female is bigger than male. No, there is no arrangement here. Male is a category and female is another category. And there is no arrangement here. There is no order, which is bigger, which is higher, which is very important. No, I cannot arrange them in any arrangement order. Also, there is no arithmetic operations I perform. I can't, for example, add two male to female, what you get. Or I cannot, for example, divide male by female. There's something unlogic for mathematics. So these are the nominal scale. The ordinal scale, the main difference will be the arrangement. Data is arranged in some order. In some order. Here, I couldn't arrange it completely, but now I can arrange it. But differences between data values either cannot be determined or are meaningless. And the most famous example on this will be Likert scale, as Abdul Hamid mentioned about 10 minutes ago. When I said very satisfied, satisfied, neutral, dissatisfied, very dissatisfied, which is Likert scale, these are attribute categorical data. Yes, there is an order here. I can understand or I can infer from the data that the patient who is, or the person who is very satisfied is better than satisfied, and satisfied is better than neutral, and neutral is better than dissatisfied, and dissatisfied is better than dissatisfied, very dissatisfied. So there is some order here, in contrast to male and female in the previous example. But the problem is the differences between categories is subjective. For example, I will ask you a question. I'll ask you a question. Very satisfied and dissatisfied. What is the difference between these two categories? If I'm a participant in a certain course and you are asking me to evaluate the materials, for example, based on Likert scale, and you are giving me some options, 5 options. You are welcome, Marwan. The pleasure is mine. And you asking me to satisfy and dissatisfied. What is the difference between very satisfied and dissatisfied? My question is, if this difference will be constant in every Likert scale that will be done in every organization worldwide, again, are the differences between the 5 Likert scales will be always constant and meaningful and have the same operational definition across industries worldwide? No. Thank you, Mariam. Thank you, Gad. No. Yes, it will be something subjective. Yes, or biased. But I will use the word subjective. Subjective, it means I don't have a constant or unique definition for it. My hostel will define the difference as blah, 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 blah. But another hostel in USA or in Tunisia or in Algeria will define it as blah, 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 blah. But the call center of Vodafone will define it as blah, blah, blah. So it's something subjective. Subjective, it means I can manipulate it or I can make a certain definition for each category that is different from another organization. Or in India, for example, they define it in Tata, for example, Tata Consultancy, they will define it that the difference is 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is not an objective thing, or this is not a constant thing. This is completely subjective and it could be manipulated by the organization. So the ordinal scale, again, we have some order, like we saw with each other, but unfortunately the differences are meaningless or subjective. The third scale, which is the interval scale. And by the way, just a side note, these two scales, nominal scale and ordinal scale, by default are attribute data. A, T, T, it means attribute data. So by default, attribute data could be on nominal scale, could be an ordinal scale. Just as a side note, we're trying to link for you the types of data and the scales of data. Can this matter be addressed with help of operational definitions? Yes, yes, thank you. Well, this is the only solution. Yes, this is the only solution to differentiate between categories using operational definition. Excellent word. Thank you very much. I must specify to myself and to my organization and to the survey taker, him or herself, that very satisfied has a specific definition, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, blah, 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 blah. Who are satisfied means 1, 2, 3, 4. Who are neutral, and so on. So yes, excellent. The only solution for this problem is to have an operation definition. But again and again, Warda, the problem is you cannot control this globally. You can control it in your organization to be a constant across your organization, but you cannot force this operational definition to be constant globally in other countries or other organizations, even in Tunisia, for example, and so on. So yes, the only solution for this inside the organization to have operational definitions. But what makes the differences is I cannot force this globally. You are welcome, Warda. Then interval scale. The interval scale data can be arranged in some order. There is an order, and for which differences in data values are meaningful. Now I have differences like ordinal scale. I have arrangement, but an ordinal scale, as you saw with Likert scale, was subjective. Here differences are objective. Like what? When I say that certain patient temperature is, for example, 37, but when I say that another patient temperature is 38, now we have a difference of 1 Celsius on Celsius scale. This one is meaningful. It means 1 Celsius in Egypt, the same as Tunisia, the same in Algeria, same in India, same in Nigeria, same in everywhere, because this is a global scale. Same will goes with Fahrenheit and with Kelvin and so on. So another example. Well, I say that, for example, Ahmed and Warda want to study in America, in USA, and they have to sit for a TOEFL test. Then Ahmed get 90, but Warda got 91. Only one, huh? But this one can direct Warda to a university and direct Ahmed to another university, because some universities will say it's a condition to we will board the students who have a TOEFL of more than 90. So it's only 91 and 90 in the TOEFL test. But this one is meaningful and it's standardized worldwide. Whether you have set for the TOEFL exam in Algeria, in Tunisia, in Egypt, in Nigeria, in India, wherever, it is the same. Has the same difference, has the same meaning. This is interval scale. The last scale is the ratio scale. And the ratio scale is characterized for data that can be ranked or arranged, and for which all arithmetic operations, including even division, can be performed. Division by 0, of course, excluded, because anything divided by 0 equals 0. Ratio level data has an absolute 0, and the value of 0 indicates a complete absence of the characteristic of interest. What does it mean? I can't understand what you are saying. The ratio scale, as the name implies, it means in the 3 previous scales, nominal, ordinal, and interval, every example I have provided is just discussing one attribute or one characteristic: gender, satisfaction, temperature. But ratio, it means you have 2 characteristics studied in the same time. For example, I am now studying the amount of fats consumed by adults in USA. Again, I will say it again. I'm studying or analyzing or I'm collecting data about how many grams per fat consumed by adults in USA. Here I have two characteristics. First, the number of fats or the number of grams of fat consumed. And the second is adults. Adults may be male and may be female. So you have here two things to measure. Like nurse to bed, excellent. Like staff ratio, excellent, excellent. I'm really satisfied. Yes, ratio to patient, I understand you. Yes, in healthcare, excellent. So, or even in call centers, not only in healthcare. So wherever I have a KPI, which I will measure, and this KPI will use two characteristics instead of one, like nurse to bed, staff ratio to patient, how many call centers per time per day, call center agent per times per day, how many grams of fat consumed per adults. So you have here two things to measure. This will called ratio scale. And as the name implies, it's ratio because you are dividing thing by thing, or you are measuring thing by thing. And by default, the interval scale and the ratio scale will be variable data. VAR, it means variable. Not the VAR of football, virtual assistant referee. It's our VAR. VAR stands for variable. Yes, utilization ratio as well. Whether you are talking about people utilization or material utilization. Yes, Mariam, you are correct. So just to have a link between types of data and scales of data, again, nominal and ordinal scale will be attribute data by default, while interval and ratio scale will be variable by default. So any questions regarding the scales of data, because this is something which will affect how can we choose the statistical test. It's very important, exactly as the types of data is important. So I will pause just for 1 minute or less, waiting for your questions, if any. If I didn't receive any questions, I will go ahead to the next slide, inshallah. Thanks, Heba, and thanks, Mariam. And I will also clear. I have written here. To the meaning of attribute data. These are attribute data. I will assume that you may be disconnected from the lecture when we spoke about it. Attribute data, it means text, strings, words, which could be binary, like yes or no, pass or fail, accepted and rejected, or could be categorical data like Likert scale, very satisfied, satisfied, up to very dissatisfied. This is for your question. So, okay, Awatif, are you satisfied with my answer? If not, please make your question more specific. Rasha raised your hand. I will assume that means you want to speak to the mic. Just give me 1 moment as I'm reading the comments to see if I have any question. You are welcome, Dr. Fahad, or welcome, Ahmed. Example of ordinal scales, Likert scale. Definition, Safdar. Example of ordinal scale will be the Likert scale. Very satisfied, satisfied, neutral, dissatisfied, and very satisfied. These are attribute data, as you can see. There is some order because very satisfied is better than satisfied, and so on. And the problem is, but the differences between each category and the other is not globally defined. We cannot generalize this to be constant all over the world. Marwan, you are welcome. Muhammad, you are welcome. May as well. Thanks, you are welcome. What about the meaning of the word attribute? It's attribute, not attributable. First of all, عواطف. It's attribute. There is no able in the end of the word. Attribute, it means text. Attribute, it means text. In statistics, attribute by dictionary, it means a unique characteristic. So in statistics, it means text, words. By dictionary, attribute means unique characteristics of thing. Level of education, yes. When I say different level of educations are ordinal data, for sure. Even the academic levels, Bachelor of Science, Master of Science, PhD, and Postdoctoral Fellow, each organization, each university, each country will have a different requirements for each level. Please, doctor, I want to know difference between interval and ratio. Interval will study only one characteristic, like temperature, or like the TOEFL, for example, score. Like I said, example of Warda get 91 and I get 90 and so on. But ratio will measure two characteristics. How many grams per fat per adult? Now you have two things, not only one thing to measure. How many grams per fat, how many grams of fat, and what type of adult, male or female. And as your colleagues added, for example, I have the staff ratio and the patient. How many physician and pharmacist nurse needed with how many beds? I'm measuring two things. Or, for example, as I have said, the ratio between number of call center agents and the number of calls or the time per day. In the rush hour, for example, I will have about 7 agents. But at the night shift, I have only 3 agents. Also, some of your colleagues spoke about the utilization. To how extent a certain person is doing a certain thing. So whatever the parameter you are measuring is not measuring only one unique characteristic, but it's measuring 2 or more. Usually it will be 2. We will call it a ratio scale. This is for Russia question. The pain scale. Yes, in medicine, we have a scale of pain. Not all the pain are similar to each other, but this is something ordinary because the difference between each level and the previous one or the next one is completely subjective to the patient. Thank you, I got it. Okay, then Shen, thank you very much for letting me know. And meaning of the word variable say. Okay, then Shen, okay, thank you. Variable in statistics, it means, when I say variable, it means a certain value which can take a random number of numbers. I will give you an example on this. Please make sure that your mics are muted, please. So when I say عواطف, that the wearing time, which industry you are working in, to make it very clear for you, عواطف. Are you working in healthcare, manufacturing, call center, bank, or whatever? So just tell me your industry. Healthcare, excellent. When I say that the waiting time, we say in statistics, it's a random variable. Random variable, why? Because it may take any value. The waiting time may be 1 minute, maybe 2 minutes, maybe 30 minutes, maybe 60 minutes, maybe 90 minutes. I don't know. That's called the variable. And by dictionary, when I say that thing is variable, it means it may take a lot of range of variables. It is not a constant, for example. But when I say, for example, that in physics, we have something called a Planck constant named after Max Planck. Max Planck equals X. This is something constant. It is not a variable. When I say, for example, pi in mathematics, pi is a constant. It is not a variable. So numbers could be constant and could be variables. Constant like pi, like max, like Kelvin in temperature, Kelvin constant. If you remember these things from your physics courses, these are constant, they are not variable. But variable, it means that the thing could have a lot of range of values, like waiting time, or the type time. That time may be 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and so on. Is it okay now for you? Can you understand the word variable? متغير in Arabic. If you translate it directly in Arabic, متغير, it means it can take any number simply in statistics. And we call it random variable, by the way. To be specific, random variable, because it may take any value. Okay, thank you, Awatif. And I think I have closed all the tickets and everything is clear. We can just go ahead to the next slide, which some of you, I think Abdul Hamid hinted about this about 1 hour ago or 45 minutes ago, which is data conversion. I can transform some data to the other data. Sometimes the conversion will make sense in a certain scenario. Sometimes it will not make sense in a certain scenario. For example, we spoke about the Likert scale, which is very satisfied, satisfied, neutral, dissatisfied, very dissatisfied. Okay, these are good. And every patient or every participant in a course or whatever will choose whether he or she is very satisfied or neutral or whatever. Okay, but after the survey ends and you are collecting the surveys or the questionnaires and trying to analyze your data, the analysis of the attribute data don't have full options as a variable data. So you can just count how many category has happened. And you can count their mood, for example, and that's it. You cannot do much with text. Here comes into the play the idea of the data conversion. And this is something I'm clear, confident, or pretty sure that you have saw it before. We will convert these attribute categorical data to discrete data. Very satisfied, it means 5. Satisfied, 4. Neutral, 3. Dissatisfied, 2. And very dissatisfied, 1. Now I have done data conversion. I have converted the discrete, the attribute categorical data into discrete data to make it easier for analysis. Now I can get average, I can get median, I can get a standard deviation. But previously, no. You can just count how many one is very satisfied, how many one is satisfied, blah, blah, blah. What is the most commonly occurred category, which is the mode in statistics, for example, satisfied, and that's it. You cannot do much with text in statistics and mathematics, and even data science and machine learning. You have to convert it to numbers so as to algorithms where the computers can understand it well. And that is data conversion. I have converted the attribute categorical data into discrete data. Now I can calculate plus the frequency and the mode, the mean, the median, the standard deviation, the variance. If you don't know what these things are, I will explain it in details in moments, inshallah. I can also calculate the weighted average. I can do a lot. And actually, this is something very common in statistics, that we transform the attribute data into discrete data. Yes, median is a middle number. Excellent. So Likert scale, as per Likert, which is American sociologist, Likert did not say anything about this. Likert only states these levels. Just text data, just words. But we in statistics, we have the ability to convert these text into numbers, discrete numbers, as you can see here, so as to we can again and again calculate descriptive statistics on it and gain more insight on it. There is some other data conversion scenarios, but I will not speak about it because it will not be beneficial for you. The most beneficial data conversion will be this one. There is another data conversion scenarios, but I will not speak about it again because it's not relevant for you as a data analyst. or in data analysis in general. So we start with basic statistics. As you can infer, or as you can understand even before the lecture, that the main core of data analysis is statistics. Statistics is the building block of any data analysis process. So what is basic statistics and what is its objective? So basic statistics, or the purpose of basic statistics, is to, first, number one, provide a numerical summary of the data being analyzed. It's very important, or it's very good that you have a lot of data in an Excel sheet or a Minitab or SPSS, it's okay. But you and your manager and your company and whatever, you will always need to summarize this data. Summarize it, it means it's okay. I will not spend the whole day scrolling up and down in my data. I need to summarize it. Summarize, it means to have some descriptive statistics on it. What is the mean? The median, some graphs, yes, or some visualizations like histogram and so on. So this is what is called numerical summary of the data. Provide the basis for making inferences about the future. In moments, I think within 80 minutes from now, we will start to speak about something called inferential statistics. Statistics have a lot of classifications. The first one, which I will talk about right now, that I can classify statistics. Someone has turned on his video. Please make sure that your videos are off. Otherwise, you are risking your privacy. Again, statistics has a lot of classifications. And in our short course for today and tomorrow, we just will be speaking about two types of classifications. First one, that I can classify statistics into something called descriptive statistics. Please, if you are just joining us, videos are not allowed. So please make yourself mute and stop your videos. And inferential statistics. Descriptive statistics and inferential statistics. Descriptive statistics, it means you are just describing or summarizing your data set or your data. The mean is X, the median is Y, I can draw a histogram and so on. Descriptive statistics is important, but it will not give you a clear-cut answer. Descriptive statistics will just tell you something. It will tell you that your process is shifted. You are not conforming to a target. You are not stable. But why? It will not answer the question why. Why I'm not stable? Why I'm not conforming to a target? Why blah, blah, blah. So the term go and see, go and see, which called in Japanese Jinshi Jimbutsu, is very important in descriptive statistics, because descriptive statistics will not give you a clear-cut answer for everything. Again, it will just tell you that your process didn't achieve the target. Why? I cannot tell. Your process is not stable. Why? I don't know. Your process is shifted, and you understand these terms today and tomorrow, inshallah, but it will not tell you why. And here comes into the play the importance of the inferential statistics. Inferential statistics will ask on every why, or sorry, will answer every why you have. So inferential statistics will give you a clear-cut answer. In contrast to descriptive statistics, which will just tell you something. But it will not answer why. So both complementing each other. Descriptive statistics will give you summary of your data, certain status, but it will not explain you why. That's why we see a lot of go and see, go and see, go and see. You have to go yourself and see to understand what is going on. But in inferential statistics, it will answer every why you have. So both are complementing each other. And we will speak, inshallah, today and tomorrow about both types in brief. For sure, we don't have time to elaborate a lot on both types about descriptive statistics and inferential statistics. But I have just, I want to just to highlight the first statistics classification in our course. We have descriptive statistics, which will just describe or summarize your data. And we have inferential statistics, which will predict in the future or will answer why, explain what happened in descriptive statistics. And both are complementing each other. Back to our material. So provide the basis for making inferences about the future. Inferences is the noun of inferential. So in order to make some predictions about the future, you have to use basic statistics or understand basic statistics and descriptive statistics as well. Also, basic statistics will provide the foundation for assessing something called process capability. We will talk about it tomorrow, inshallah. Also, it will provide a common language to be used throughout an organization to describe certain processes. Otherwise, all the description we have will be just KPI as achieving or not achieving. But if you want to give some insights about this KPI, you must say that on average you have X, the median is Y, we have a variation, a large variation or a narrow variation. So this is something very good to be used as a common language inside a certain organization. When all the organization understand only basic statistics, I'm not requiring that all of the people understand deep mathematics and statistics. No, just basic statistics. What is mean? What is median, standard deviation, and so on. This will create a common language and will make the communication in the organization more and more smooth and more productive in comparison to just saying that the waiting time now is not achieving target or the turnaround time now is less than 40 and so on. And that's it. We don't have any other information. But if we can elaborate on this more and more, we can get more and more insights about this KPI, not just make it a binary variable, whether I'm achieving, not achieving KPI. So if you do not achieve, what are the benefits for me? I can speak, but if I make some in-depth analysis, I will begin to understand why this KPI is not achieving the target, for example. So in business, the leaders or the management will not be satisfied with the attitude of just this KPI is achieving target, thank you, or not this KPI is not achieving target, thank you. No, in both cases, they will ask a questions. In order for you to answer their questions, you have to know some sort about basic statistics and data analysis. Otherwise, you don't have something to tell them. One of the most important aspect or pillar in data analysis is to understand the difference between sample and population. Population simply are all the area under study or all the items that have the property of interest. I will give you an example. For example, as a quality improvement officer, I need to improve the waiting time in the outpatient. For example, just for example. Okay. So waiting time in the outpatient, it means I'm collecting data about the waiting times of patients in certain time frame. Please make sure that your mics are turned off. Please. If you are new to our session, please, you are not allowed to turn on your video or turn on your mic. This will result in miss and result in interruption, and I have manually to go to the participant list and turn off your video and turn off your audio. So please make it easy for you and me and stick to this rule. Please keep yourself muted and keep your video turned off, please. Also for your privacy. So population in this example means that I need to measure all the waiting times for patients I have seen during, for example, the last 3 months. And on average, each month, my hospital receive or see about 5,000 patients. So I need now to collect the data about, if I multiply 5 by 3, we have 3 months. I need to measure, or I need to study 15,000 waiting time. Is this something possible? Is this thing is possible? Can you collect data about 15,000 patients? Each patient has a waiting time, for example. Or is this something easy or something applicable? No, thank you, Maria. This is something not applicable because you are trying to measure your whole population. And the 3 months time frame I used, just an example. Maybe you are interested in a year, for example. So you cannot just go and measure the waiting time of every patient your hospital will see in a year. This is completely unapplicable, completely unlogic. Yes, I need here sample. I need to take a sample. Sample, on the other hand, is a significantly smaller subset of the population. Smaller subset, significant, yeah, significantly smaller subset of the population, used to make an inference. I will use this sample to represent the population, but on condition. The condition is the sample really must be representative of the population. Your sample must really be representative of the population, something we will speak about, inshallah, in a minute. No, I will take a stratified sample. In data analysis, usually we'll take a random sample. It will be sufficient. But if your population is needs strata, it's okay. You can go ahead and take a stratified sample. But as long as your population is homogeneous, a random sample will be sufficient. This is for dua quotation about stratified samples. All of the smokers in Egypt can be population. Yes, for sure. Another example. Excellent. I cannot get data about all the smokers in a certain. It's impossible. Millions. I need only take a sample. Okay, dua. So it's okay in statistics to rely on a sample, in order to infer for the population. On condition. The condition is your sample needs really to be representative of the population. Yes, because it may be biased or it may be unrepresentative. For example, the example of the smokers, my sample may incorporate males much higher than females. It means that the females was not represented well in my sample. So the issue of whether my sample is representative of the population is a very popular question. I have been asked a lot, whether in Lean and Six Sigma courses or data science and machine learning courses, or data analysis courses, and so on. So I will make it very clear for you, how can you make a representative sample? Or how can you make your sample really representative of the population? As you can see. So how to take a sample which is really representative of the population? We have 3 criteria that must be met in order to have a representative sample. And by the way, when we speak about sample versus population, we have 2 parallel worlds. The first world, which is my course is upon it, is business. business management. You are working in a hostel or working in manufacturing, you are working on certain industry. And the second rule is research. So please don't mix or please distinguish between sampling in research, because this is something I have faced a lot in my courses from participants who have done Master of Science or have done PhDs or are pursuing right now. They are mixing things altogether. They think that what they have been taught during their research methods is also applicable to business and vice versa. No. There is a huge difference in statistics between sampling in research. You are doing Master of Science or doing a PhD. It's have its unique characteristics, and sampling in business. You are working in quality, you are working in nursing, you are working in manufacturing, you are working in bank, and you are doing sampling. Because this will always make some confusion. These are two completely different things. Sampling in research have its unique rules, and sampling in business have also its unique rules. So please don't make up things or don't mix things all together. So if you are coming from an academic background like myself, you have pursued Master of Science or PhD, or you are preparing right now, sampling in research is thing, and sampling in business in completely other thing. Because we have two different scenarios here. As a researcher or Master of Science or PhD student, sometimes your research will incorporate things that did not or have not been measured altogether before worldwide. And here your population will be for us in statistics unknown. You have an unknown population. You cannot even count your population. But in my example, when I'm working in a hostel or working in manufacturing plant or whatever the place, no, the population size for me at least is known. I know that I'm receiving per month 5,000 patients. I know that I am producing per month in this manufacturing plant 100,000 units and so on. So there is a lot of differences between them. So please distinguish between this. Our course is concerned with the business sampling. It means you have some sort of data which is already collected, whether in manual papers, in Excel sheets, in ARP, in SQL Server, and you know the population size. We are not speaking here about research. This is not a research methods course. So just to make this clear, because this is thing and its rules, another thing have its own rules. Okay, so I'm now speaking about how to make a sample that represents the population in business. First, sample size. There is a lot of ways in statistics by which we can determine our sample size. For example, there is mathematical and statistical equations in which you can input your population size and you will get your sample size. We have some rules. If your population size is 100,000, you will take X. If your population size is a million, you will take Y. Population size is 1,000 or more. We have certain tables for this. I think we don't have time to speak about this in more and more details, but we have tables, we have calculators, we have if statement rules, which is widely used in statistics. Just give me your population, and based on a table and based on a rule, based on equation, I will tell you your sample size. So this is very simple thing. Once you have equation or the tables I talked about. Some of these tables are only sufficient or only used in research, and some of these tables or some of these equations would only apply in business. Again, I'm stressing on the point that sampling in research is completely different of sampling in business. So each one has its own tables or its own rules. Second, time frame. For example, I will not go in depth in the tables and equations and blah, 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 but we say that if in uppercase, it means population size, and in lowercase, it means
الو
sample size. ايوه اتفضلي. If your population size is less than or equal to 100, sample size n should be 30 observation. And if your population size n is greater than 100 but less than 1000, your n sample size should be 20%. 20% of the population. And if your population size is greater than 1000 but less than 10,000, your sample size should be 10% of the population, like JCI is telling you, by the way. JCI before the 6th edition, until 5th edition, had a table for sampling which is completely against statistics, and myself was one of the early people who sent to them email because it seemed that they don't know anything about statistics. Just I told you till the 5th edition that if you have population size of X, take Y, X take Y. 500, take 75. More than 500, take 75. Oops. This is something against statistics, which means if I have a population of 500, I will take 75, and that population of 1 million, I will take 75. That is, of course, incorrect. That's why they updated themselves or correct the mistakes they have in 5th edition. Starting from the 6th edition, JCI will just tell you without any statistical concepts, take 10%, please. It is not so correct or absolutely correct with the statistics, but it is not bad. It's better than before. But the most important, the most correct thing that I'm writing to you right now, it's a ratio between the population size. And I can continue if the population size is more than 10,000, less than 100, and so on. So we have rules for everything in statistics. I just don't want to get more and more in depth about this. And upon of your population size, we can give you your sample size. What is the confidence level of this method? Confidence level, there is no confidence level for method. Confidence level in statistics is something nearly constant, 95%. So it means you have been facing a method for collecting a sample size based on power, which is beta. That's why you are mentioning for me confidence. This method have no confidence level. This method is very straightforward. They give me a population and I will give you a sample size directly. What you are talking about is a completely different idea, which is based on a different way using a statistical equation, for which you will determine the confidence level 95% or alpha 5%. And you also will determine the population size, and we can give you some sample size. So your question, Ahmed Abdrabbo, is concerned with another way for getting a sample size, not this way. My way or this way don't have any relation with the confidence intervals or the confidence level or alpha or anything like this. And as I said, I've mentioned before, there is a lot of ways in statistics from which you can get your sample size. So again, your question about the confidence level has no relation with my method here. These are very straightforward if statement rules. If your population is X, your sample is Y. Population X, as you can see with me here. But there is another statistical equations, another statistical method in which the confidence level will be important. But in most cases, or many cases, the confidence level will be 95%, just to answer your question. It could be 90%, it could be 99%, but the most famous value for the confidence level will be always 95%. But again, this is this not no relation with my way here. This is just a table. Give me population size and I'll give you a sample size. So this is for the first criteria or the first aspect of how can I take a representative sample size. Meaning of F statement, I mean F. I'm keep writing F here. F population size, blah, 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 N is F. So I mean IF, not the letter F. F population is X, then your sample size will be Y, and so on. Please make sure that your videos are off, especially females, the girls, in order not to violate your privacy. Because when you open your video, everyone can see you. I'm trying as much as possible. When I see a video or camera is opened, I will close it. But please preserve your privacy. Second criteria or second aspect will be time frame. After talking about sample size, and again, there is a lot of ways from which we can get a sample size from population. I will not go in this in details, just to give you an example by using these F statements. But there is a lot. Time frame, it means in statistics, or one of the most important objective in statistics is prediction over the long term. If you open any textbook of statistics, you will find that the science of statistics have a certain objectives, about 9 objectives. One of the most important one of them are prediction. I need to predict what the shape of my process will be on the long term. So we are very interested in statistics in the long term. I will use the LT abbreviation for long term. And also we need our sample to be collected for the long term or over the long term. So what does it mean to have a sample over the long term? Long term, it means your observations or your data has been collected across at least 1 month. At least 1 month. So any sample is collected over 2 weeks or 1 week or 3 weeks or 10 days. These unfortunately called in statistics short-term samples. And it will not give you much because it will not contain all the variation or all the pattern or all the signal in statistical terms of the data. You must have a long-term time frame in order to say that my sample is representative for the population. So time frame needs to be on a long term, which means data collected across at least 1 month. You have to, for example, you are studying the length of stay of the open heart failure in your hospital, or you are studying, for example, the production rate of the product X, whatever. Okay, you will collect data about these 2 parameters for at least 1 month. 2 months will be better, 3 months will be better, and so on. But data or samples which collected over 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 10 days, 1 week, unfortunately, these are short-term samples, and it will not be considered a representative sample. So make sure that your sample is collected across at least 1 month or more. The last criteria or the last thing in order to make my sample representative is something called in statistics subgrouping. The name will appear strange, but I'm pretty sure that most of you understand what does subgrouping do. But the word is just strange, or the word is new. And I will ask you a question to make this clearer. The question is, when any one of you is trying to collect a sample and he is keen to have a representative sample, what would you do if you have shift from 9 to 5, for example? Can I go to 1 p.m. and collect some observations or correct some sample, and I will say that this sample will represent the whole shift, or what exactly you are doing? Did you go to a specific hour, a specific time within the shift and collect sample and that's it? Or what will you do? Heba saying different times. Okay. I will just pause for 1 minute to see your answers about this. Different times. Random. Okay, it's all about randomness in statistics, but the question is, will you take only one sample per shift or more than one sample per shift in different times? Fixed time every shift. Good. To make my question more and more clear, will you take only one sample per shift or you will take more than one sample per shift? More than one sample per shift. Excellent. This is a correct answer. I will never take a sample on 1 p.m. and say that it will represent the whole shift. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Thank you. Okay. So what does mean subgrouping? It means exactly what you have said. That's why I said I'm pretty sure that you know about it, but the word is strange. So subgrouping, as you are doing in your business exactly, is simply that I will have more than one sample per shift. For example, just for example, this is something which is not constant for sure. Maybe related to the population per shift, yes, maybe. We have a table like this. (9 a.m., 11 a.m., 1 p.m., 3 p.m., and 5 p.m. So in order to take a representative sample, you consider your shift or you consider your day as a box. And in order for your sample to be representative, your hand must play around in all the corners of the box. So at 9 a.m., I will take a sample, then 11, I will take another sample, then 1 sample, the third another sample, then at 5 p.m., the last sample. And hence, I can say that I have here a representative sample because I can see the variation or I can see the process in different times per day. Ordered sample, could you please specify for me what do you mean by ordered sample? Probabilistic sample have 4 types, which is random sample, stratified sample, systematic sample, and so on. So what do you mean by ordered sampling? Can this be applied to accreditation survey visits? Yes, for sure. It may be every fixed time and you can manipulate it. There is no gada here, there is no right or wrong. Sometimes you will just make it constant, 9, 11, 1, 2, 3, 5, and sometimes you can play around this. But statistics always like randomness. So it's highly recommended that you change these numbers. Next day, for example, I will make it 10, 12, 2, and 4, and so on. So try to be random as much as you can, not make it as a fixed time slots. This will give you more and more leading results. Consider it as a rule. Statistics love randomness. Don't forget this. This is for all of you, not only Ghada. Statistics loves randomness. So be random as much as you can. I think I have answered your question now, Ghada. No, it shouldn't be fixed. We must or we should play around this to have more and more leading results or leading samples. You are welcome anytime. So this is what's called, or what's so-called subgrouping. It means simply I'm taking different samples on different time slots, and as Ghada hinted, I should make it changing, not constant, random. Next day, make it 10, 12, 2, and 4, for example, and so on. And that's it. If you comply to these criteria, first, you have calculated your sample size. Your sample size based on any statistical reference. Sampling is books, by the way. There's a lot of way of sampling, and you can search the web. You find sampling has a book called statistical sampling, 700 pages. But we are not interested in all of these in data analysis. So just pick a reference or pick a way. The most important that it will be a statistical way. Calculate your sample size. Then make sure that you collected your sample size on the long term. Please make sure that your mic are muted, please. Could you remind me how to make my sample long term? Sample size is very straightforward. We said there are the tables, the rules, mathematical equations, and so on. So how to make my sample a long-term sample? Could you tell me, or could you remind me about this? No, 10% is related to the sample size, Mariam. And also it is not constant. Collected over a period of 1 month or more. Yes, more than 1 month. Thank you very much, Isra and Abdelhamid. To make my sample representative, I need to have a long-term time frame, which means my sample must be collected across at least 1 month. The third thing to make is to make subgrouping, and subgrouping something I can just, or welcome Mariam, just show you here. It means that I'm not taking only one sample per shift. I'm keep taking a lot of samples per shift on different time slots, and it shouldn't be constant like Ghada mentioned. It should be random or variable time slots to increase the randomness, to increase the reading results you may have. So if you stick to these 3 criteria, sample size from a statistical perspective, long term more than once, subgrouping as you're already doing in your organizations, hence I will say that you have a representative sample, or your sample is really representative for the population. Any one of the 3 criteria is violated, your sample in a statistical perspective will not be considered a representative sample. So it's done for today. I will not say anything extra for today. Thank you very much. From tomorrow, inshallah, we'll start about studying descriptive statistics. So if you have any questions about anything, I will be more than happy to answer you. If not, I will meet you tomorrow, inshallah, on 6 p.m. and we will continue our course, inshallah. You are welcome, Dr. Shahat. You are welcome as well, Denishan. I'm pretty happy that you are enjoying the lecture, May. Thank you. You are welcome, Mariam, Asma, Ghada, Nisreen, Warda, Isra, Naila, Nawar, Haidar. Thank you, Denishan, and I'm really happy that you have enjoyed the lecture. Thank you, Abdelhamid, as well. So sorry if I missed any comment, because the comments is scrolling up very fast. So thank you for all of you, even I forget some names. Thank you, Salwa, Abdurrahman, Danel, Muhammad. I will pause, or I'll wait for extra 1 minute before lifting the course or the virtual room in order to receive any questions for you. Thank you, admin, and I hope that you change your name tomorrow, admin. Not to be admin. I need to your real name. Thank you دكتورة أم كلثوم. وئام، ريهام، أمل، Sarah, thank you. I'm really happy that the lecture have added some value to you, and this value, inshallah, will be maximized tomorrow as long as we are going in depth in statistics. Thank you, Tariq, Fathiya, Fadwa, Rasha. Yes, you will get the recording, inshallah, Dr. Kulthum, but I think tomorrow after the course end, maybe after tomorrow, something Dr. Zainab and Isra will be communicating to you, but you will get a recording, no problem.
Hi everyone, thank you, Dr. Ahmed. We will have another lecture for English speakers tomorrow at the same time. Please contact WhatsApp number to get record and certificate. If you need any information, contact this WhatsApp also. Thank you everyone. Thank you, Dr. Ahmed. Thank you. We will continue tomorrow.
Inshallah. Inshallah. Yes, tomorrow same subject, inshallah. Okay. Thank you all. See you tomorrow, inshallah. Goodbye. Mariam is saying, never understood these things better than today. Okay, thank you, Mariam. I'm glad for this. If you have any questions, like Dr. Zainab said, because please, you can communicate with this number on WhatsApp. The number has been texted to you a lot during the chat, the Zoom chat box. So if you have any questions, please direct your question to this WhatsApp number. See you tomorrow, inshallah. Thank you and goodbye.